Doctor, welcome to this interview. ADIPEC is celebrating 4 decades of a success story in the energy transition sector. You keep on coming back. Tell me more about your experience.
I think it's amazing, the progress in 40 years. Last night at the banquet, we heard about what it was like in the beginning. And you look at this and you know that we can achieve a lot when we put our minds and hearts to it. So I come back because I invest in climate technologies, and I know that if we put the same passion as ADNOC and ADIPEC has done in the last 40 years, we'll be in a great shape in the next 40.
There's a huge amount of funding required for this, numbers of 35 billion or trillion dollars, 1.5 trillion annually for that energy transition. What more can governments do to create an enabling environment for both public and private finance institutions to secure the capital needed for this transition?
So I think capital is needed, but what you would have heard on our panel is that's not what's stopping us today, right? There are some other items that are stopping us in using the capital today the most effectively. So I think if I think about what governments can do, they need to procure, because we need to create the demand for these low carbon products. So government procurement is a very strong instrument, and they need for each of their procurement pieces to put in what is the expected low carbon product. For example, 70% of cement and concrete is bought by governments. Let's put a target on the carbon intensity of that cement or concrete. So similarly, I think government can be a very, very strong motivator to purchase low carbon products.
So it requires more partnerships and collaboration between governments and the private sector, and probably more incentives, right, for the private sector to enter this, which they probably consider risky business, right?
Exactly. So I think that collaboration is absolutely key between governments and private sector, but also between governments and governments. Because as soon as you have a dislocation, like one government says, this is the price, another is a different price, then the private sector, everything gets more expensive because you have to look after 2 different sets of policies. So collaboration is absolutely key. The second is management of risk and timing. So there is a piece that is capital, absolutely, and the policy is needed, but there's also timing. We cannot keep slipping timing on regulatory aspects. So keeping that pace is really important. And also taking down hurdles. Sometimes to get a project done or something done, you go to one governmental institution, then you go to another, then you go round and round. So how do you streamline all of those pieces? But working together, we can get this done.